Okay, so this time around we are going to work on another app which is on education app. So in this education app, one of the features that we are going to try to incorporate is the login feature. So in today's workshop, we're going to see how we can actually set up the authentication. Now earlier, I did mention in our previous class that we used to use Firebase, but the issue is that to use the authentication, it's free, no issue with Firebase authentication. The issue comes when you want to use storage. You need to have a credit card for that. So for that reason, we are actually using Supabase, but still Supabase, for the free version, you're only allowed to have 2 projects. So I've deleted my old one, and what we're going to do is we're going to try to create a new project. Okay, so click on new project. So this project is, let's say, going to be our education app. Put in your password, strong password. This is to protect your database. And of course, the region, you want to select region that is closest to you. So we will use, since we are in Malaysia, we will use Southeast Asia, Singapore. Sometimes it also gives recommendation. So either you want to follow that or you want to select Singapore, anything is actually fine. So why we want to choose the region closest to your users for the best performance? Choosing the database region which is closest to you means your app loads faster. That's what it actually means. Is that okay? So if you're done with that, you're going to click on create new project. So now we have a new project. So later point of time, we are going to take some of the API keys and things like that. We will do that later. So we can actually see the project overview. We can actually look at the table editor. Currently, there is no table. This is our database. Yes. So currently, we can see we will be setting up the table editor and authentication. These are the 2 things that we will look into this. So under the table editor, if you look, currently the schema is public, but if you click on the schema, if you scroll down on, there is this AUTH, this means authentication. Are you all able to see? So if you click on authentication, you will be able to see, hold on. Whenever you click the schema authentication, you will be able to see there's a lot of tables related to authentication. But the one that will be interest to us is users. You see the last one? This is the table. This one you don't have to do any configuration. It is automatically configured. This one, the last one, users. So if you click on users, you can see what are the parameters that it will capture. There will be the user ID, there will be the role, email, encrypted password, email, confirm, invited. So there's a lot of parameters that are there. So under this schema authentication, under this table users, you will be able to see any user who registered using your login, or if they created an account. Are you all able to see? So currently this is empty. So we are not going to do anything with this now. I'm just showing you so that later we can actually use this to see. So this is a protected schema. So this is managed by Supabase and it is read only. You cannot write to this. It's a read only through the dashboard. So this is the dashboard. So once later we will see when we create an account, you'll be able to see there's a new data row coming in. So you don't actually have to do anything on this. But then what we also want to do is we want to create a public table so that we can able to capture the email ID of the user, and also sometimes in some login, depend on what type of login layout that you choose. When you want to create account, some login only requires email and password. Some login create, they ask you what's your first name, your last name, and things like that. So based on that, whatever data that you want to capture will be, we can actually save it in a public table. So public table means, again, you click on the schema here, so you'll be able to see there's a public schema. So click on public schema. Usually by default it will be in public, so there's no table, so we're going to click on create new table. So we're going to name this as users, and we are going to uncheck enable row level security. So the moment we try to turn off the row level security, it says that this table will be publicly readable and writable. Anyone can edit or delete the data. In our previous workshop, we actually used RLS, and we actually set the conditions right, who can write and what you can actually do. This time we will try to make it public, so we click on confirm, and if you go down, you can see what are the columns. That we can actually add. So by default we actually have this ID, it will be integer value, and we will have what we know as created at get the timestamp. So in this table which is under public, you will be able to see what is the user ID, the unique user ID, created at what time, and this is actually the type timestamp, and it will capture the current time value which is now. So you don't have to change anything here. But what we actually want to add is we can add another one more. So this one we can put as email, and this one can be text, variable length character string. So we have 3 columns: ID, created at, and also email. If your user login has more, then you can add. Currently the one that we are going to use in the FlutterFlow has only requires email and password, so that's why we only put email. Is that okay? Now if you look at all these things, all these columns are currently, take note that just now we saw one table which is users, right? But that is under authentication, and that is a protected schema. Now we have created another public table which is known as users as well. But this authentication table, users, and the table that we created now which is public, there is no connection. It is not linked. That is a separate table. Whenever you use Supabase to new user, it automatically will capture. But then nothing will happen to this table because it is not linked to that table. So what we're going to use now is we're going to link any one of these columns to that authentication user. So out of these 3, the best one for us to link would be ID. Why? Because the ID will be unique for every user. Why don't we use email? One user may have the same email, right? May tend to use the same email. So sometimes it's not the best practice. So we're going to use the ID because this ID will be unique. Each time under the authentication users database, whenever a new user comes in, the ID will be generated. So we are going to link our public table ID to that user authentication ID. So how can we do that? Are you all following what I'm saying? This is the public table. It is not linked to the user authentication table. It's not linked. So we are going to link so that we can capture the data. So do you see this chain link in the ID? So click on this. So currently we have to select the schema. Just now the other user is which schema? Do you remember? It is authentication. So then you are able to see all those authentication table, which table that we actually is related to the new user registration? Authentication users. So you click on this. So you ask select column from authentication users reference. So this is ours, public. Ours is public, and our table name is capital U SER, users. Are you able to see? And we want to link it with the authentication users. Which one? So you click on this. Do you see there is ID? So we click on this. So now this table and that table is linked. So whenever a new user registers, automatically our public table will capture the ID, will capture the email, and also will capture the timestamp. Three things. Of course, if your form has more, first name, second name, last name, or whatever, then we can actually add more also. So it says that the following columns will have the types updated to match their reference column. Then we have to assign action. Action if reference row is updated, action if reference row is removed. So meaning to say that if we delete any one of this reference which is public data, what we want to do with the other one? So currently there's no action, but we want to click on cascade. Cascade means currently we have only linked with the user ID, right? Let's say, but one user ID has email, password, all these various things, right? So since we are referring to these two tables, if we delete one row, what we want to do? So cascade means it will delete all the other columns for the particular user. So you remove it completely. So that means you cascade it down. So that's why we want to click is cascade. Same things we remove, we also want to cascade. So you see, updating a record from authentication users will also update any records that is referenced in this table. Deleting a record will also delete any records in reference in this table, and vice versa. So click save and click save. So it's creating a new table. Then you can see now table user is good. Yes.
My one is just the column types do not match.
So currently you can see there is these two, authentication user and public users. So you can see this is unrestricted. So we have these two things that you actually have created. Yes. Now let us go to FlutterFlow and we're going to create new project. So this project I'm just going to name it as Edu app or education app. Have you all typed your own name? Sorry? Okay, so if you are getting the upgrade message, it means that you didn't register using the education plan. Were you? So give your name, education app, then click on start building. So you're going to create a new project. So now you actually have a page here. So what we're going to do now is we can click on the second page selector. What we can actually do, oh wait, I think there's also another shortcut way of doing this. While you are here on this page, if you click Control K, or in Apple Command K, you will get this pop up. So here you have option of add page. So you can actually add page. So what are the pages that we want to add now is we want to add 2 pages. One page is to create account. One more page is we want to use as a login account. Is that okay? So first we're going to click on add page. So under this add page we're going to click on create account. So you can see there's a lot of create account 1, create account 2, this is what, create account 3, account 5. So there's a lot of various kinds of create forms that you can actually see or create page. So we can actually use, let's say, create account 2. So under this create account 2, you can actually use my theme also. So we can name it as create account. So this will be the name of the page, which is create account. So we're going to click on create the page. So we have this. Again you press Ctrl K again, we want to add another page. This page we want to search for login. So we can use login 2. You can apply my theme. This we can name it as login page. So click on create page. So now if you go under page selector, you can already see that there is a create account. So this page says create account, start filling. So do you see there's email, password and confirm password? So the thing that we were actually capturing is the email. On this page you can also see there's a message here. If you already have an account, click sign in here. So that should bring to your sign in page, which is the login page. So login page has this. Why is it vibrating a lot? Any wind? Someone sitting, or is it ghost? Someone's here. This is her left only. Why is it vibrating? Is it wind? This looks like paranormal activity. There's no wind, nothing outside there. So under this login page, you see there is message welcome back, and you have the option of sign in. But at the same time, you see that if you don't have account, sign up here. So we have these two pages. Is that okay? So we have created this, and we have home page. Now before we do anything with this, let's actually go to the project settings. So under here, you see under app details, this package name must be unique. So you can actually put your group name or your name. So I'm just going to put my name here. Just as the package name has to be unique. So for now, we just can put our name. But later, if you are coming up with an app that you want to publish in App Store or Play Store, so make sure you put a nice name there. For now, we just want to make the package name unique. So the initial page, what should be your entry page? So we want to go to create account. So currently we have home page, create account, login page. So we want the initial page, the app, to start with create account. And you know that in create account, if you are already created, then what you can do, you click on already have account, sign in here, so it will bring to the next page. So you want to make sure that the entry page is create account. Is that okay? Other things are fine. Then we go to platforms. So under platform, currently Android and iOS is enabled. So also click on web, enable web deep linking. Can do on that, and let's see what else we want to do. Okay, so we are integrating with Supabase, right? So click on Supabase. So we have to enable Supabase. So click on this. So now we have to get the API URL and also anonymous key. So if you go back to your Supabase, this is your project, right? So if you go to API docs, sorry, not API docs, integration. Wait, hold on, I'm just making it small, I can't see. You click under project settings. When you click on project settings, if you click on data API, you can see the project URL, right? You can see the project URL. So you're going to copy the project URL. You're going to go here. So you're going to paste it here. Then you need to get the anonymous key. So for that, you click on, just now you are actually a data API. You click on API key. You can see that there's anonymous key. So you can copy this and you can paste it here. So now let's try to see whether the connection is working or not. So we click on get schema. So when get schema, is this correct? Is this the table that you have created just now? Users, you can see the ID created at email, right? So that means yes, managed to integrate with Supabase because we are able to see the schema now. So we also need to look at the Supabase authentication. So later we will enable this to console. We will do the setup later point of time. So we click on, or maybe we can do now also, enable. Okay. By default, Supabase authentication is supported. Later, when we do the Google authentication, we will enable this. Okay, so that is integration. Integration is working fine. Now we scroll up, there is this authentication. So if we click on that, so set up authentication in your app to allow users to create an account and sign in. So make sure you enable this. So currently the authentication type is unset, so you have to select Supabase. So then it asks you what is the initial page. The initial page is create account, right? That is our initial page. Login page, after you have successful login, where you want to go? Home page. So have you all done this? All right. Now let us go back to our build environment. So where are we now? This is what page? Let's see which page. Click on create account. Create account is this page. Do you see this last one here? Already have an account sign in here. This is rich text. This one. So when you click on this, what we actually want to do is we want to actually assign action, because when you click on sign in here, we want to add action. On tab, we want to navigate it to, where do we want to navigate it to? Already have an account sign in here, so where you want it to go? Yes, you should go to login page. Is that okay? Under create account page, click on this rich text and add action. So define on tab, you want to navigate to login page. Is that okay? So currently there are some project issues. What is that? Okay, so it says that authentication provider Google is not supported for Supabase authentication. That is because if you click on this, okay, wait, we will do that, no problem, we will settle that. So that is done, and now when you click on login page, under login page, do you see don't have an account? Sign up here. So this one you click, and we want to add action, the same action. On tab, we want to navigate to create account. That's the two things that we want to. Let's see if we can go preview or not. So when we click on preview, if we click on sign up here, it goes to create account. If you click sign in here, it goes to welcome back. So it is working. So how do we go to preview? It is this one, the eye icon, preview app. So when you click on this eye icon, you'll get a preview tab. On this preview tab, we can try by clicking here, sign up here, it goes here. If you click here, it goes to welcome back. So the function is working. Is that okay? So let's close on this preview tab. Now let's go to the create account. So under the create account, so when we click on create account button, Are you able to see? So when we click on the create account button, we want to assign actions. So what is the action? You see on tab, action 1, create account. So this is automatically authentication. It appears like this, right? So the authentication provider, which is email, it captures the email address, password, and confirm password. Where do we actually get all these things? That is the name of each one of this: email, password, confirm password. So it automatically fills that. So it says that, note that this action does not create a user row in Supabase table for you, but you can add an action to create one after the Supabase account has been created. Due to Supabase authentication behavior, we also recommend disabling the email verification required on the Supabase site and instead handling that logic within the app if necessary. So what it actually means here is that the first one, whenever a person user register, it will not create a new. If you go back to your table under the public user ID, it will not create a new table for you. You have to add an action to do that. So that's what we are actually going to do. Is that okay? Yes. Okay, so you go to Supabase, click on authentication, click on authentication tab. So you can see here sign in or providers. So click on sign in or providers. Users sign up for Supabase authentication. Make sure that you allow new users to sign up. If this is disabled, new user will not be able to sign up. Confirm email. This one no need. Disable it. So only allow new users to sign up, and click on save changes. So it says successfully updated settings. By default, your email should be enabled. Okay. Google is currently still disabled, so that's fine. So we will do that later. Let's go back to the FlutterFlow. I will do one by one. We will remove this navigate automatically. We will disable this. So we click on edit action flow. So currently there is one action which is authentication, which is to create account. So which means when you click the button, the first action it tries to do is trying to do the authentication by capturing the email address, password, and password confirm. What is the warning here? Oh, it's just warning about there may not be any navigation, but we will do that, no problem. So click on this plus sign. Here we want to add action. We want to add action. So under this add action, we want to click on backend database, and you're going to click on Supabase, and you're going to click on insert row. Remember earlier the message says that whenever a new user registers, it will not create a new row in our public user. So we are doing it manually. So we are going to click on insert row. So meaning authentication will create an account that will be in the authentication user table, but it will not add in our public user table. So that's what we are actually doing now. So backend call, we are calling Supabase backend to insert a row. What is action type? We want to insert row. Which table? The users. Users is the table, right? And we can set the field. So you click on plus add field. it will automatically detect all the various fields. So ID, click and click until the add variable disappears. It shows that you have captured all the fields in your table. So this field ID, if you click this field ID, the value is unset. So where you want to actually set this to, this one you're going to get it from authenticated user. Are you following what we are trying to do? What we are trying to do is this second action is going to insert a new row in our public user table. Are you all following that or not? Just now we saw two tables, right? One is authentication user, which we don't have to do anything. That is managed by Supabase. But we have created another user table which is public. That is what we are trying to do now. We are trying to add it. So we're going to insert row, and in our new user public table got these three fields, right? So we need to map these fields accordingly. So ID, what is the value that you want to set? Currently it's unset. So we want to set the value from where? Authenticated user. Because remember we have the authenticated user table. So click on this. Which one you want? The user ID. So it will match with the user ID. The created at, this is actually the timestamp. Currently the value is unset. So you click on it. There is one thing that is known as global properties. So global property, if you click, do you see there is current time? So we're going to click this. You're going to capture the current time. Click confirm. Then what else? The email. Where we want to get this email from? This email is actually we are getting from the widget, right? Widget form. So you can see on the widget state, see all the available options. Which one? Email address widget. So in this way, the first ID you get from user, the timestamp you get from the global property, which is the current time, and the email address you get from the widget state. You capture all this, then put it in your table. After you have done all this, what you want to do, you want to create another one more action, which is, we want to navigate it to home page. So upon successful authentication, adding, then you navigate to home page. Is that okay? So we click on close. This is on create account. So there should be three actions: create account, backend call, and also navigate. So no issues here, so you can close. Then you can go to login page. Under the login page you also have a sign in, right? So click on sign in, this button, sign in button. Make sure you select the button. Then you want to add action. Here do you see that on tab it is authentication login. It's not create account, it's login. Email address, password. If you put navigate automatically, then it actually will navigate it automatically to the main page. Is that okay? Okay, so we have done the authentication and things like that. So now we want to do testing, but there's a lot of error. So whenever you click on this bug here, shows the error. Let's click on any one of the error message. wait, not this. Let's go back to the integration. Supabase authentication. So let me just try this and try to see if we can remove this or not. Constant, let's put false. Constant. Two more. Okay, so what I did was, under the integration Supabase, you click on enable Google authentication and enable Apple authentication. Then what you do under this client, let's see, I remove first. Under the client, you click on this settings, iOS client ID. So currently, do you see there is a string, there is a constant? Click on the constant and click on false. Click on false. Likewise, you do the same thing for web client ID. Click on constant, click on false. So later you can actually do this on Google authentication, but for now, because it's creating the error, so we will actually remove it. Have you all done so? So now if we go back here, let's click on testing mode. Let's try to run on testing mode. So now we are in test mode. So this is in create account. So let us try to put whatever email. Put your own, then put the password. And I'm going to click on create account. So upon creating account, it went to home page. So how are we supposed to know this one worked or not? Let's go to authentication Supabase. Do you see under users? Do you see there is already an ID? Email. So that means whenever you click under user, this one, this is actually, if you go under table, this now was under authentication. I'm showing you, if you click on authentication, there is manage users. So these are all, you see there is a unique ID has been created. You can see email and last sign in. So this is managed by Supabase. But just now remember we did the table. So if you go to table editor, so do you see under the public user we have actually added the unique ID? Do you see the unique ID, this one and public is the same? So this is authenticated users. So it captures all the other things, but in public we capture the timestamp and the unique ID and also whatever I type. So it means that our email authentication worked. So if you go back to your test mode, oops, so now there is an issue. The issue is that now once we have come to this page, then we cannot go anywhere. Right? So never mind, we will solve that. So let's click on end session. We'll end the session. We'll close this test session. We'll go to FlutterFlow. Remember, under the pages, you click on home page. So there's nothing here. So just for the sake for us to be able to sign out, let us no page, sorry. Let us actually add widget. So let us add button. So we just take and just put one button here. So we'll put it in the center, the button, and put some padding on top. So this button, we're just going to change the name. And change the name as sign out. So everyone okay? We're just going to have one button which is sign out only. Now we want to actually add action to this button. So we click on actions, we add actions. On tab, what we actually want to do is, of course, on the back end Supabase. Sorry, not on this one, on Supabase authentication. So we want to log out. So we're going to assign the action. Whenever you click this one, we want it to log out. So after we log out, where we want it to go? We have 3 pages. After we log out, where we want it to go? Yes, to the login page. So let us try to edit the, after we log out, we remove this navigate automatically, we add action, we navigate to login page. So then only you can have the proper workflow, right? The correct workflow. So click on close. Now let us click on test back the app. Let me pause the recording for a while. Okay, so it has come out here. If you notice that when we actually testing, it doesn't come to that page where it's supposed to start. That is because it actually have the cache memory. Do you see that? Current user email is the one that you have registered just now. You have the ID. And if the current user email is verified true, it always will automatically go into your main page. So that is why each time when you test, it actually comes here. So let's click on sign out. So you see it brings us to the sign in page, right? So let's say just now I registered with 1. Let's say if I'm trying to sign it in any other email, and I just put in some other password and try to put in sign in, it doesn't allow you to sign in. Do you notice that? It doesn't allow you to sign in. But let's say if you put back the registered, you sign in, you're enabled to go back to your main page. So this shows that you have actually signed in. Is that okay? So this is your first step in creating your email sign in. So now in order for you to get your attendance, you must show me your Supabase public user. If you have this, then you have your attendance. So those who have this, authentication users or public users and if sufficient, show me this table, then you are able to get your attendance. Otherwise, you have to watch the video, do, and then send me, then only you can claim for your attendance. So I'll stop the recording now.